it's my job to speak up and say that Falun Dafa is good. Say that truthfulness, compassion and forbearance should be rights that we respect around the entire world.
Falun Dafa is a meditation practice that you can do in your daily life. It's very simple exercises and meditation. And there's also a very simple philosophy to try to be a better person.
I started when I was 8 years old, and my entire family practices Falun Dafa. So they've improved so much. Like, we've become more understanding towards each other. The families come together. There's a lot of harmony in the family. So that's one of the biggest benefits. Also, I haven't gone to a doctor since the last 16 years. So I guess for me that's the biggest benefit also. Yeah.
From my experience, I became more of a positive person as well as more happy and well-balanced person, I think.
You know, it's really a what we call mind-body practice, and that's very popular in the West now.
I had a back injury, and after practicing very quickly, I got so much better.
You know, not just physically but mentally as well. My outlook on life changed dramatically, so it's been quite an amazing journey so far.
Falun Dafa gave me something to work on me, that I get more disciplines in my things in a positive way.
I think everybody can benefit, yes, for sure. I mean, it doesn't matter which walk of life, which job you have family, you're young, you're old.
This is banned in China, which is utterly ridiculous. This makes people's lives so much better, and I'm going to do it myself.
Today in China, as you all know, Falun Gongs are persecuted, arrested, tortured, and killed.
The government launched a nationwide persecution to eradicate the traditional and peaceful spiritual practice of Falun Gong. This follows the principles of truth, compassion, tolerance.
Falun Gong practitioners never harmed anyone. They just did their own prayers or meditation on their own. That's the question we want to ask Chinese government. Why do you want to hurt and harm people who never hurt you or hurt anyone else?
The reason why the system can treat Falun Gong so inhumanely is the dehumanization, the depersonalization, the marginalization through this propaganda and repression against Falun Gong.
Even within this quite straightforward resolution, there are still problems, because the absolute deluge of propaganda from the regime in Beijing vilifying Falun Gong as some sort of extremist cult. Now, I've met, as I said, hundreds of members of Falun Gong. It is not a sect, it is not a cult, there is no money involved, there is no brainwashing. All the normal characteristics of a cult simply don't exist. These are people who practice their spiritual exercises on their own, and yet, as I said, because between 70 and 100 million people in 1999 were practicing Falun Gong, this was seen by Jiang Zemin, then the leader of the Communist Party, as a threat to his own position. It wasn't, of course, but he saw the opportunity of creating an enemy within. Just as during the war, the Nazis singled out the Jews as a special characteristic and did what they did to the Jews. The same is happening today to Falun Gong in China. That is why it is genocide. That's why I say it's so serious.
There's no evidence that Falun Gong is a cult of any sort. There's no evidence of political action to try and bring down the Chinese government. There's no evidence of anything other than a deep desire to be left alone to practice their spiritual beliefs in peace and to not be locked up and murdered.
We've actually had a case in the courts in Canada where it was ruled that Falun Gong is not a cult. And if you look at, as you said, all the indicia of cults, it is not one. And it's simply a part of this demonization that goes on. It's an easy term to throw out. David and I have met Falun Gong practitioners in probably 50 countries.
Or even more, maybe.
Okay. All walks of life, all ages, all backgrounds, all education. I've found them to be a wonderful group of people.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with any of that. I mean, Falun Gong, first of all, it's not even an organization because it's a set of exercises with a spiritual foundation. Everything's on the internet. You don't pay anything. You don't sign up to anything. You can start whenever you want. You can stop with it whenever you want. You don't even have to tell anybody you're doing it. Their principles are very simple and ethical. And I mean, all of that is true.
I think the Falun Gong movement is one that is based on spirituality and peace, and that ultimately should be able to thrive without being oppressed by governments.
Well, our voice continues to be strong on behalf of not just Falun Gong practitioners, but anyone who aspires to freedom and respect for human rights in China or anywhere in the world. And we condemn the continued oppression. We condemn the continued crackdown, which has been going on for a very long time. And we continue to let them know that we're on their side, and we'll continue to raise their issue and not allow the world to forget it.
We will not rest until the situation with regard to justice for Falun Gong is secured.
And to the government and the leadership of the People's Republic of China, we urge you that in the 21st century, it's time to join the global community that respects the rule of law and understands the basic requirement of the respect for human rights for all, and to end the oppression of Falun Dafa and Falun Gong.